All right, folks, look, I know you happy about this, right? You done already seen the thumbnail. Some of y'all saying, how could he even top the one that he did before? This is the exact same candy yam video that I've been doing, throughout. Now, I got so many new people, they be asking me about it. Everybody don't find it in search and all of that. That's why I'm gonna make it now. So we finna do candy yams. We finna do it AB's way. You know what? I'm gonna strike that. I'm gonna do it my grandmama's way. Hey, let's get it. Okay, so let's just go over these ingredients. There's not a whole lot to it, you know what I mean? So you guys can see it, big name right there, say maple syrup. I'm gonna tell you this right here is like a real level up, right? You guys can use any kind of syrup you want, but if you can do the maple, I suggest you do that. Now, everything that you're seeing right here is on my website. That's smokingandgrillingwithab.com, and that's WITAB.com. Now I'm gonna address these two things right here. Right, you see how it's got that label? I make my own vanilla extract. I have an article that's on my website. You guys got to check it out. It is so easy to make. So check it out. Other than that, let's get it. All right, so look, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to peel these, right? You guys let me know down in the comment section below. If you peeling them, do you wash them? Before, I'm going to just be honest with you, I just go ahead and rinse them because we finna take all that off on the top anyway. But any dirt or something on there, I don't want it to get on there, right? So I just go ahead and, rinse them. But you see, these are easy to do. Get yourself your peeler, or you can do it old school way like your grandmama did. How she take that knife to it, treat it like it's just a regular old russet or something like that. Now, when you have these little spots like that, I like to cut that out of there. I hate that they go a little deep because you lose a little yam, right? But until it becomes solid, we just work with it. Now that we got everything peeled, right? Here go a piece that I didn't get. No matter how much you think you got everything, you always find a little dark spot somewhere. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting these down, right? You wanna have a sharp knife. Now, here's the thing. Sometimes I cut them this way, and sometimes I don't. If I keep the thickness right, I can do them like this. I can make them even bigger, then I can quarter them. The ultimate goal is just make sure that you got everything so that when it's done, they finish at the same time. If you make them too thin, you're gonna have some that are mushy. But most of the time when you go out to a restaurant, you get them, they come like in square cubes or something like that. All right, so as you guys can see, you see this right here? I cut them all kind of shapes. My main thing is just to make sure that they all about the same size, So if I got them like that, they'll all be ready. I don't want to have none too mushy because I like to fold mine a little bit, and get them going. So I'm gonna set these over here. I'm gonna go ahead and get a bigger one than that. We're gonna go true 13 by 9. All right, so with that being said, look, let's go ahead and start working on that candy spot. Let's go ahead and get that right. Like I say, we finna work on this, right? So let's go ahead and get a fire under the bottom here because we gotta melt some butter, right? Now, if you guys ask me why I'm using Dutch oven, a lot of times this be my go-to. Remember, this is truly a cast iron pot, right? All it is coated with a ceramic coating. Then you got the colors on the outside, right? But when you use them deep, heavy pots, I can tell you, listen, they hold heat perfect for something like this, Let's get some heat here. Once this, get a little bit hotter. Now, you guys been following me. You know that I like to have everything I'm gonna be using for this, right? So we got butter, we got our, our spices right here. We got to have our sugars, which will be right here. And the reason I'm doing it this way, because look, this is the holiday. Everybody is not gonna line them out, and measure everything, pre-do. But I will bring all my ingredients. So I'm gonna need white sugar, and then I got brown sugar. Check this out, I got some marshmallows. I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do with these right here. Just got a little bit of a pro tip for you, especially for you guys that be using that brown sugar. All right, now we got a little heat in here. Let's go ahead and melt this stick of butter. Okay, so my butter's melted, right? Do you guys know about this little trick right here? About putting the, the marshmallows in here to keep it from being hard? Look how soft this is, right? I'm gonna add maybe one more to it, but this will keep it from like drying out and you be having something like rock. Or you see these right here, these little teddy bears, you guys can pick these up. I'll leave a link on the recipe card so you guys can see, or it'll be in the body, it'll be somewhere. You guys pick yourselves up one of these. These right here, keep that moisture and keep that from, drying out and getting hard. Get you some of these teddy bears. I just thought I'd give you guys that little pro tip. And we doing yams, some of y'all like to have these on top of your yams. You know who you are. All right, so now we're gonna add some brown sugar to it, right? Now, I'm making a little bit of an adjustment to this recipe. I just cut down on a little bit of this sugar. It was a little bit more than that. This is a better way, just reduce it just a little bit. You see the color change? That's all full of butter. And it's gonna be the base for to make everything candy. I'm gonna be full of a lot of little pro tips. Some of you guys have heard this before. Look, I got my measuring cup. Now I'm gonna bring my maple, right? I'm gonna put 3/4 cup in there, right? So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna take it. Look, I just spray it, a little non-stick spray. This is my avocado spray, right? We just put that there. Now I'll go ahead and fill this just to 3/4. I usually really only do that when it comes to honey. Right now, we'll just do it, teach everybody. If you go over a little bit, that's cool too. So now we'll just pour this on top. Oh yeah. It just expedites the process. I can see where I had it and I sprayed this way. It really didn't get on that side. Look over there, it's super clean. All right, next we're gonna go with a teaspoon. Look at how this don't fit. I'm gonna show you guys something. You see this right here? If you guys wanna know, like when you're looking to buy your measuring spoons and things of that nature, if you see these and you're like, I don't know what's up with that, why I got full on that end and narrow, look, now I can get in here. All right, so we just add a couple teaspoons of that. It's giving me Christmas vibes right now. Now I'm gonna take this off because we're gonna go with 1 teaspoon of this nutmeg, right? I don't really, when it comes to like spices, I like to just like try to get it as accurate as possible. I could have put something on top. That's cool. Right now, like I promise you, there's never too much. We didn't already cut back on that sugar, so we're doing good. You see that? Listen, low is the best way. Especially for somebody, I love it when somebody say, this is my first time ever making yams. It's just the impact that what you get after somebody tastes it, or even when somebody come in your home, they like, ooh, something smelling good. Remember, low heat. I'm gonna go ahead and break out the the vanilla extract. I just want to show this again. You see this? Listen, it's so easy to make. I started these. This one right here doesn't have a label on it, because this is like my own personal. These have been ready. It takes about 3 months, I say 12 weeks for maximum flavor, but you can, 8 weeks, you can use it. But this right here, that's that premium. So if this was supposed to be sold to somebody, this would be like super expensive. 12 weeks of that ooh-wee, but I got vanilla bean in there. It ain't ready yet, but it's working. This right here is already mature, so we're gonna go ahead and add some. Put about a tablespoon of this right here. Now remember, this that premium. Look at the color, folks. We just need a tablespoon. Oh, I know y'all saying, hey, dude channel name, Smokin and Grillin with AB, but he be getting down in the kitchen and getting you to think outside that box. I have the luxury of being on the West Coast, so I can grill throughout the year. For some of the other people that out there like Midwest, right now it's cold. We just had our first snows, for the country. All right, now let's talk about the allspice. Now we're gonna put just a tad bit in here. Listen, those of you guys that work with the allspice, woo, it's Christmas time, folks. Hey, look, it's all holiday, but what I will say is, it's right here strong. So we only need like look, check me out. Oh, that's too much right there. That's all you need. Believe me, that go a long ways. Now, don't forget, on my website, I got it all broken down for you, with the ingredients. Don't forget, it's printable for those of you guys want to print it. Hey, I know half of y'all probably go to the page where it say print, and what you do, take the picture, screen save, or whatever it is that y'all do that, right? Now, let's talk about having a little bit of balance, right? So we got a whole lot of sweet. You always got to do something a little extra, right? So, listen, I got sea salt in here, that rock sea salt. I'm gonna go ahead, let's see if we can see that. One more. There you go. I know some of y'all just like, ooh, AB showing out. Now, this next part I'm gonna do, you really not gonna understand. But this is the real reason why everybody say, AB, it's something different about what you do. Especially when it comes to these yams. So I'm gonna set this over here, and we're gonna address that elephant in the room. Oh, look at that. I wish I could juggle. I used to be able to take them and toss them like that, but we ain't finna do that. My mama always told me don't play with my food anyway. Let's go ahead and cut this orange. We just cut him down like this. Whew, look at that. Now, I gotta make my own little screen right here, but I'm gonna put a little bit of this orange juice in here, right? So I get my hand like that. Just making sure I don't get, oh, look at that. I usually do about a half of the orange. You know what I mean? Look at that. This right here is where it's at. I don't want you to eat with your, with your brain. You know what I mean? Let's try it for real. And then those of you guys that have made recipes from me in the past, I want you guys to talk to them and let them know that I don't steer nobody wrong. Everything's been tried and, and tested and all of that, right? But that right there does something magical. All right, so look, you remember I talked about having the fire underneath this being nice and low? I'm not bubbling over the top. This is a true simmer. Look at that right here. But I don't want it to get as thick as I would, like I'm gonna have it at the end. You just stay with me. Now, check me out. That's hot. I don't know, some of y'all out there know who Al Green was and them grits. This is the same as them grits. You know what I mean? This get on you and splash on you, it's about to be hot, right? So I'm gonna grab this and I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna go ahead and put this away from me. Like I tell you guys to break it, at the top so that the steam goes this way. I just wanna do it, this way. Now, I'm only gonna put a little bit in here, about half of it, right? You can see I got all different shapes. That's enough. Now I'm gonna come back over here and then we're gonna toss. Look at that. I know some of y'all are just like clapping right now. holler at your boy. Man, I love making yams. First of all, everybody asks me, AB, when you gonna open up? Now I'm gonna be real. I'm not opening them until the first of the year. You know what I mean? We are ready, you know what I mean? But ain't nobody doing nothing until January. You know what I mean? And I'll let everybody know, but I'll tell you when I'm doing the grand opening also. But right now, it's about this. Anyway, I brought it up to say, yes, I'm gonna have yams. Come on. The rest of it in here, I keep talking about how low things are. You know what I mean? So everything nice and hard right now. Don't forget, it's full of water. So it's gonna add some moisture to it. I just wanna make sure everything is coated right now. Once all of it is coated, I'm gonna put this lid on and I'm gonna let it work. This whole thing don't take long. So it only takes about 45 minutes, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set myself a timer. I'm gonna set my timer for about 22, 23 minutes. Then after that, I'm gonna stir them again. They'll start, getting soft, right? So let's go ahead and leave them like that. I'm gonna put this on here. We already at a simmer. I'll check on mine, throughout, but like I said, 22, 23 minutes, we'll take a look at them, and I'm gonna stir them around a little bit, get the ones on the bottom. I'm gonna get those to come up on the top, and then we're gonna go the remainder of our time. All right, so let's look at them. My timer just went off, right? This is what I do. You can see I got more liquid in there. That's all of the water that's like steamed out of the yams, right? So I just move them over. I try to get the ones on the bottom up to the top and give the ones that was on the top, let them have a little time down there, right? So I'll keep it on here like that. I'm gonna look at it. I think I'm gonna turn it up just a tad bit. And now we'll go for another, let's see, we did 23 minutes. Let's just go for another 22 minutes. All right, so I done took the top off, right? We always check them, with a toothpick. Let's just see how soft they are. I can look at it and tell you I don't need to do that. For all my people that, been cooking, for a minute, you can tell. You know what I mean? I have to do it this way because it'll slide right off. Look, that's what I mean. You know what I mean? I love this texture right here. You see that? Y'all want to come in and take a look at this? Look at that right there. You can see all of the sweet candy flavor on there, right? And these are one of the ones that's on the top. I haven't done nothing, no need to stir it or nothing, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and just put it in right here. Get yourself like a slotted spoon and be careful with them. But look, the ones on the bottom are gonna be nice and soft. I leave as much as I can in there. That's why I use a slotted spoon. All right, we just go under here like this. Then we just put them in our dish, because this is what we're gonna serve them in anyway. And we just put them like that. Oh yeah. Now, if you guys don't want them to be as soft as I like mine, don't cook them as long. It just take a little bit of monitoring, right? Man, you can mash this up and it'll still be fire. Okay, so you guys see this right here. Remember, I only used 4, I guess they were just so odd shapes. You know what I mean? This was just 4 yams. You see how they are? Toothpick, it passed that test. I haven't even hit them, and these are some of the ones that was on the bottom. They actually good like that. But I like to take it one step further. If you look down in here in my Dutch oven, this is what was left. What I'm doing is no top on. I'm cooking it down and letting some of this evaporate. You know what I mean? Because I'm thickening this up. And we're going to take this and we're going to pour that on top of that. I'm going to take this right here and I'm going to pull it like this, and check this out. If you're able to do that, that's thick enough. Now it's pliable enough for me to pour it. Now I'm going to turn this off. Oh, my goodness. If I take it like this, as you see everything coming, I'm going to go ahead and be quiet. I'm finna cue the music and y'all check it out. In all actuality, I'm not finna take this and plate this or put it transferred. This is how I would put this out for, my family, right? Just any of these. So I probably would just double the recipe. Then you get yourself 2, 13x9 casserole dishes. You can put that out. I wanna ask you guys this. How many of y'all remember when we were little, they had 2 tables, right? It was one for the grown-ups and then somebody set one up, just for all the kids. So you probably gonna need to put one of these on the table for the kids too. But I'm not finna over talk it. I done already ate it. I can just tell you any excuse I can to just almost the weight. Look, oh, look at that. I can just drop him in. Look how deep that went. Cheers. First of all, anything with that amount of butter, and as long as, we cook these, just that buttery, that candy sauce, oh man, that wouldn't be cool. You know what I mean? But you know what? I ain't gonna lie to y'all, it's mine. I can, but I don't want to see all them comments down below like, hey, B, you just double dip. Yeah, I did, but man, this is fire. Just hold on. All right. I'm at a loss of words. Like, these are like the favorites. I remember when I used to just wait all year round and, just to have this. Then I remember like, oh yeah, just 1 year out of the blue. I'm like, man, I can make that. Been making it before. You can too. It ain't about me. You guys can too. Look, I'll just give you you know, a little bit, but I will tell you, if you're not putting that orange in there, that right there is like the highlight. Now, you guys let me know down in the comment section below, you know, what you like, you know, what are you going to be putting on your table? I'm just reading it all. Now we into the meat and potatoes of Thanksgiving, right? And I even got something for you for the day after. If you're new to my channel, you know what to do. If you don't, let me tell you, I want you to hit that like, smash that subscribe, and tell everybody out there, there's a channel out here that's simplifying these recipes and taking the mystery out of cooking. And you know what, folks? No antics. I'm just out. Peace.